How you guys doing? Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Um, hope everybody's having a good memorial. I want to talk to you guys real quick about something that's so common sense. The title of this presentation is going to be called "All Women Are Not Shallow." Now, my mother was telling me the other day that all women are not shallow. Well, if that's the case, guys, if all women are not shallow, if all women are not shallow, how come some guys haven't found nobody special? If all women are not shallow, how come some guys been treated like complete garbage all their life? How come some guys won't be able to have a wife, kids, they won't be able to procreate, they won't be able to do none of these things if all women are not shallow? A lot of people need to start thinking before they speak. A lot of people want to say that, oh, all women are not shallow. They want to say, well, you haven't met all women. Well, you know what? You may not have met all women, but you have to pay attention to patterns as well. And most of all, you got to pay attention to your age. This coming Saturday, guys, I'll be 36 years old this coming Saturday. And I tell myself, I've lived long enough at this point in my life to where if I was going to have a family, if I was going to have a wife and children, I'm sure I would already have it. Just being honest. I know that regardless of ethnicity, regardless of race, I know for a fact that all women are shallow and superficial. I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. It doesn't matter what race the woman is. It doesn't matter what ethnicity the woman is. Women are shallow and superficial, guys. Can I get a witness? Especially if you're a guy, you're a certain age, and you have not met the love of your life yet. You haven't met no one special. I mean, come on now. You got to pay attention to patterns. That's the one thing you got to pay attention to in life. Always pay attention to patterns and pay attention to the things that have happened to you. And, when you're a guy, you've been constantly ridiculed, you've been constantly treated bad. That ought to tell you something, especially at a certain age. I'm big on age. My mother always tries to undermine the experiences that I've had in my life. My mother, she always tries to tell me that, son, you haven't been through nothing. It's like she always tries to undermine my experiences. Still to this day, she does it. And when someone tries to undermine your experiences and they try to tell you, oh, you haven't been through nothing, you haven't had no real challenges, they're just trying to brush your problem to the side and act like you don't have no issues. They pretty much just they're being insensitive to your situation. That's a clear sign of a person being insensitive to your situation. If a person is just insensitive to the things that you've gone through in life. I thought I saw an animal. But yeah, you have to pay attention to that kind of stuff, guys. Never allow someone to just brush your circumstances to the side and act like, oh, you haven't been through nothing. You haven't had no real challenges in your life. Never allow people to just brush your situation to the side, because there are people that will do that. They'll try to undermine your situation and undermine your problems and be like, oh, you don't have no real problem. Don't allow people to do that. My mother's done that to me for years. I just know that there comes a point where you just have to use common sense, guys, and you have to pay attention to patterns, and you have to pay attention to your experiences. And my experiences haven't been good. So, you know, I know for a fact, even though I have not met all women, I can say this, and this is the truth. All women are shallow. I don't care what no one say. All women are shallow. Based on my experiences, based on the way I've been treated in my life, all women are shallow people. You know? I don't have to meet all women to know that all of them are shallow. All I gotta do is look at my age and look at my experiences in my life. And that'll tell me everything I need to know. And based on my experiences and based on the way that I've been treated by women, based on that alone, I can make an assessment and say that all women are shallow people. I mean, I'm just looking at my experiences and how I've been treated, guys. That's why I say you always got to pay attention to your experiences. And, you know, you always got to pay attention to your experiences and, you know, the way you've been treated. But, that's all I'm going to say in this presentation, guys. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you leave your comments on this presentation. Let me know what you guys think about what I'm saying. Do you resonate with what I'm saying? If you a dude and you've been outcasted, treated like a square your whole life, females never was receptive to you, don't let no one tell you that all women are not the same. I mean, you have to look at your experiences and you have to look at the way you've been treated in your life. And when you've been treated like an outcast all your life and you've been crapped on your whole life, well, that tell you everything you need to know. And I truly believe when it comes to dating and relationships, brothers have it worse than any other race. If you a brother, especially when it comes to dating and relationships, you have it worse than any other race. As a black man, you have it worse. Because if you a brother and you don't fit a certain image, if you don't fit a certain profile, that can totally disqualify you from being able to date. That can totally disqualify you from having a wife, children, all of that. See, in the black community, you got to be gangster. You got to be a trapper. You know, you got to have guns on you. You know, see, that's what you got to embody in order to have a wife and children. That's the standard. Now, I'm not saying all brothers that have a wife and kids are gangsters, but that is the standard. That is the standard. Most brothers who are not from the hood, most brothers who are not gangsters, head busters, those type of brothers are seen as squares and lames. Let's just be honest. You know, as a brother, to be seen as cool, to be respected, you got to be a gangster. You got to be a head buster riding around with a chopper in the back seat. That's what you got to be as a black man. That's no lie. So if you brothers resonate, this is for the brothers. If you resonate with what I'm saying, give a thumbs up on this presentation. At 35 going on 36, I can confidently say all women are shallow. Because in my 35, soon to be 36 years of life, I have not met a good woman. I have not met no woman of quality in my 35, soon to be 36 years of life. So that lets me know that there are no good women out there. And if there were any good women out there, I'm sure I would have met them a long time ago. If there were good females out there, I'm sure I would have met them back when I was a teenager. Because that's when most people meet the love of their life. That's when most people meet their special someone. They meet that special someone when they're an adolescent. And I just know that if I was destined to meet that special someone, you know, and a lot of guys, especially dudes in their 30s who are married with wives and children, most of them can resonate with what I'm saying. They would even say, yeah, there are some guys out there, especially guys in my age range, they can actually co-sign what I'm saying. They can say, yeah, I met my girl when I was 15. And you know, there are some guys like that. They've been with their partner, with the person that they're gonna build a legacy with. They've been with their special someone since they were an adolescent. That's where it all begins, in teenhood. You know, one thing I always knew when it comes to dating and relationships, I always knew it starts as a teenager. It's like building blocks. It starts as an adolescent. I mean, most of these guys who have a special someone, they met that special someone when they were a teen. You know, it didn't start when they were, it didn't start once they got grown. It started young. But happy Memorial Day, guys. Feel free to donate. Where to donate to, it's in the description of this presentation. You guys have a good evening. Happy Memorial Day.